боксчысы Кырсырая Якуб Нуриев.
Well, what a moment for Iagub Nuriev, making his World Series boxing debut tonight. We mentioned the fact that his compatriot, Artur Subkankilov, made his debut against Lazaro Alvarez of Cuba. Well, a late change on the team sheet means that Iagub Nuriev is making his WSB debut against the dazzling Daniyar Yeleussinov. The two-time AIBA Boxer of the Year is the man who will be emerging from the opposite corner. He's ranked 15 in World Series boxing, having contested only 2 bouts this season. He's contesting his 3rd bout here tonight, having replaced Aslan Bekşin-Bergenov. And one wonders what will be going through the mind of Nuriev now that he's faced such stern opposition. And here is the man of the moment. The reigning AIBA World Championship gold medalist won that title right here in his home nation. Almaty 2013, he took welterweight gold. Was named AIBA Boxer of the Year in that particular season. Followed it up by being named with the same accolade in the following year. 2010 Asian Games champion. The 2013 Asian champion. 2012 Olympian as well. He really is highly accomplished. Here making his 3rd outing in World Series boxing against the debutant. One reluctant to call it unfortunate, but it is very much a short straw for Iagub Nuriev, making his World Series boxing bout against the highly accomplished Daniyar Yeleussinov, the reigning AIBA World Championship gold medalist. René Just from Slovakia, the man in charge. Let's get the final instructions. So the opening bell sounds in this 69-kilogram welterweight contest between the boxer who has come out on the front foot wearing white trunks trimmed with black, Iagub Nuriev, making his World Series boxing debut against a man wearing black trunks trimmed with gold for the Astana Arlans, Kazakhstan, and that is Daniyar Yeleussinov, the #1 ranked AIBA boxer in the world, the reigning AIBA world champion. And he's making his 3rd outing in this season 5 campaign. Just a little bit of manhandling pushes him through the strands. He's such a wonderfully relaxed boxer, is Yeleussinov. Ranked 15 in World Series boxing, undefeated of course, but just 2 outings in this particular season. Iagub Nuriev replacing Rajab Butayev. Rajab Butayev, I say replacing, he's elected, or he hasn't been selected for this semi-final 2nd leg. Butayev, his compatriot, his teammate, the #2 boxer in the middleweight division in World Series boxing. Went unbeaten all season long, 6 bouts, 6 wins, and is duly qualified for Rio 2016, one of 3 Team Russia boxers to qualify for the Rio Olympics next year through WSB. Good shot over the top from Nuriev. Just tucking up tightly as he makes his forward advances and then trying to unload with heavy artillery at mid and short range. But now he's being picked off by the mobile, elusive Yeleussinov. is like being sent to university on your first day of school. You're making your debut over the 5-round duration, and you've got a man like this coming out of the opposite corner. And what type of response will it elicit from Nuriev? Doesn't appear to be intimidated or overawed. And he's demonstrating plenty of aggression in this, his World Series boxing opener. Yeleussinov constantly being backed into the corner. He's repelling a lot of those blows from Nuriev with gloves and forearms. Good left hand over the top. Almost a low blow in response from Yeleussinov, but Nuriev doesn't complain. And it's all action in the closing 30 seconds of this opening round. Good counter left hand twice from Yeleussinov. Used his feet and then speared in 2 straight left hands. Nuriev tactics apparent. He wants to get up to close range, get onto Yeleousinov's chest and then wail away with arcing punches. Good opening round of boxing. The debutant showing no signs of first night nerves, competing very well indeed in that opening 3 minutes. You can see how he's being picked off though during his forward forays. He had moments of success. He was able to pin down the languid Yeleussinov, make him stand still. Yeleussinov producing superior quality in that opening round, and he's taken it for all 3 of the judges. Remember, they're using the 10-point must system. 5 judges scoring the contest, 3 of them selected without their knowledge before the opening bell. And those are the scores that are used to determine the outcome of the rounds.
Round 2, you can shut up.
So into the second round we go. Daniyar Yeleussinov took the opening round, took a stiff right cross though from Nuriev. He's making his World Series boxing debut. He's a European Championship schoolboy gold medalist way back in 2009. Nuriev took that title at 44.5 kilograms, which is the 5th lightest in schoolboy competition. 18 weight classes contested, ranging from 38.5 all the way through to 76 plus kilograms. A 44.5 kilogram weight class, where Nuriev took European schoolboy gold, the 5th lightest of those weight divisions. National Championship quarter-finalist last year, and then took 2 youth bronzes in the years prior to that in the national tournament in 2013 and 2012. So he's a boxer of whom big things are expected during his developmental career. Just entered the senior ranks and got himself a good win last year in the 2014 World Cup of Petroleum Countries. Had a rematch with the European Youth Continental Champion, his compatriot Tamerlan Magomedov. But in the rematch, in the final of that World Cup of Petroleum Countries, got himself his first piece of senior hardware, and taking the gold medal. So his career very much moving in the right direction, Iagub Nuriev. What an education he's been privileged to receive here. I say privileged, of course, in sport in general and boxing in particular. It can be painful when you meet somebody who's at the top of their game, as Daniyar Yeleussinov is. But providing he comes through this okay, and I'm speaking as though he's not going to produce a Sunday punch that'll put the man on the floor and spark an upset, but it would be a considerable upset. Make no mistake for Nuriev to prevail victorious in this contest. Good left hand from Yeleussinov. Harpooned his man from that southpaw stance, brought it down on a chopping trajectory. There's that same shot again. But Nuriev remaining committed, showing good punch resistance. I'd like to see a little more head movement. Of course, that's easier said than done when facing a boxer of the accuracy of Daniyar Yeleussinov. Doing a good job of getting into his own punching range though, Nuriev. The shorter man boxes out of a crouch, he's a little square on, but he gets into the positions that he wants to as he takes another left cross over the top. Good right hand to the body as he changed angles nicely, Nuriev. And now he's drawing He's drawing Yeleussinov into a toe-to-toe exchange. And I exhaled because he landed a jolting right jab, did Yeleussinov, just before the concluding bell for that second round. But there's some of the left-hand success from Nuriev, but he's not taking a backward step. He's remaining in the pocket. While he's in punching range, he is absorbing quite a few punches from the silkily skilled Daniyar Yeleussinov. There was a beautiful right hand to the body from Nuriev, so he's having his moments, but they are fleeting, few and far between. 2 rounds completed, both of them scored in favor of the reigning Iagub World Championship gold medalist.
Seconds out. Round 3,
Well, we move into the third round of this 69 kilogram welterweight contest. Daniyar Yeleussinov in complete control over the course of the first 2 rounds. Yagub Nuriev, the World Series boxing debutant, competing very effectively, lots of aggression, but Yeleussinov just demonstrating his superior ringcraft and experience to this point in the contest. And Yeleussinov just continuing the fine tradition of Olympic-style boxing that has emerged here in Kazakhstan. Already seen Serhiy Sapiev, the reigning Olympic champion and Val Barker Trophy winner from London 2012, in attendance at ringside. Yeleussinov, very much his heir apparent, took that world title on home soil back in 2013, the first World Championships without head guards, remember? And they were removed for the first time since what? LA 1984, they were in evidence. So 3-4 generations of boxers have come up without their head guard. It's been removed from Iagub Olympic competition now. It's always been absent from World Series boxing over 5 3-minute rounds. But in Iagub Olympic boxing, Yeleussinov is the world #1 and looks set to continue that rich tradition that Kazakhstan are continuing to build upon. They first had their appearance as an independent nation in the Olympic Games in Atlanta 1996, and since that time they have taken 3 Val Barker trophies. 1996, Vasily Girov won it. He went on to become professional world champion in the cruiserweight ranks. Moreover, just talking about the shift in power that has happened in Iagub Olympic boxing since Soviet Union nations became independent entities, former Soviet Union nations. All of the Val Barker Trophy winners have gone to boxers from former Soviet states. Kazakhstan in '96, Russia with Oleg Saitov in 2000, Kazakhstan in 2004, the great Vasyl Lomachenko from Ukraine in 2008, and Serhiy Sapiev in London 2012. Good left hand from Yeleussinov, but credit to Nuriev. Remember, this is his first outing in World Series boxing. Trace of blood appearing on his torso, around his nose and eyebrow as well. We'll have to see where that's coming from. It appears to be a nose that's leaking. But when he concludes this round, he's going to be entering uncharted territory. Yagub Nuriev, and perhaps Yeleussinov sensing that, he's just upping the punch output and his head being buffeted like a pinball in the closing stages of this third round. But still, Nuriev lands a big right hand, stays in the pocket. Both boxers break just before the closing bell. What a contest we are having here between master and apprentice in the 69 kilogram welterweight division. Right jab success from Nuriev, who is staying in punching range, but he was put under significant pressure in the closing stages of this third round. But again, testament to his toughness, he stayed right there and came back with shots of his own. And he's taken a share of that third round. Modicum of success for the World Series boxing debutant, taking a share of the round from the great Daniyar Yeleussinov. But he's preparing to enter uncharted territory in his boxing career. For the first time, when he rises from his stool, he's going to hear the timekeeper say, round 4. How will he cope with it? So into uncharted waters for the World Series boxing debutant wearing white trunks trimmed with black. That is Iagub Nuriev. Taking on Daniyar Yeleussinov. Took a share of round number 3 after conceding the first 2 rounds, 10-9 across the board. So will his conditioning have prepared him for this brand new eventuality, Nuriev? Straight shots on the retreat from Yeleussinov. Just continuing to snap the head backwards of Nuriev, but he comes right back into punching range, tucking up tightly behind those gloves, bracketing his head with his hands. But still, Yeleussinov managing to steer shots through. Glancing right uppercut wasn't too far away from Nuriev, but that brings about a furious fusillade of punches from the reigning Iagub world champion. But Nuriev's conditioning and courage to this point, I mentioned the fact that he's never been in round 4 before, but still, he's remaining as committed as ever. No sign of letting up, and he has succeeded in drawing Daniyar Yeleussinov into his type of contest. It's at close range, it's on top of the logo at center ring, and surely that is where his best chance of success, Nuriev, will reside. Turn this into a fight, make it a contest beyond skill. And he's having some success at doing that here in round number 4. Still, the greater punch output coming from Yeleussinov. Remember, this is just his 3rd outing here in season 5, but more success coming from the right and left flanks from Nuriev. Terrific action this, and what a spirited display being put forth by Iagub Nuriev. Jolting right-left combination from Yeleussinov. Nudging shots blocked by the gloves of Yeleussinov, as Iagub Nuriev continues to stand in the pocket and let his hands go. Right back into the fray once again, initiating the aggression, initiating the action. Yeleussinov biting down on his gum shield, and boxing royalty is being dragged into a dogfight here. Dramatic stuff here in the 4th round, and it's Yeleussinov keen to initiate a clinch. Nuriev really making this his type of contest and having some success doing so. Good left hand from Yeleussinov brings a round of applause from the crowd. Back comes Nuriev, 2 left hands of his own. Terrific effort being put forth by the World Series boxing debutant. Toe-to-toe exchange in the closing moments of this 4th round. Terrific action in that 4th round. Remember, Nuriev took a share of the 3rd round for Judge A, and in the 4th round he produced a display that was even more impressive than in the 3rd. How will the judges see that? Quality shots were coming from Yeleussinov, make no mistake, but in terms of the impression one is left with when viewing this contest, there's very much been a shift in favor of Nuriev, who took time to show his disdain for Yeleussinov's punches before landing with a left of his own, and he's done it. He's got himself a round against the reigning Iagub world champion. Very well deserved indeed, and it is tied up for 1 judge. He's trailing by 2 for judges A and C going into the 5th and final round.
Seconds out. Round 5, basic round.
So into the 5th and final round we go. Iagub Nuriev, the World Series boxing debutant, showing no respect for the reputation and accomplishments of Daniyar Yeleussinov, took the 4th round in unanimous style for all 3 of the scoring judges. And after electing to engage in a toe-to-toe brawl with Nuriev, Yeleussinov begins his 5th and final round immediately on his bike, gliding around the perimeter of the boxing ring. Will he have the energy to sustain that type of movement in the face of the naked aggression being employed by Iagub Nuriev? Terrific stuff throughout this contest. He tilted the balance slightly in his favor in round number 3. Nuriev took a share of that round for Judge A. Then in round 4, just drew Yeleussinov into a toe-to-toe exchange throughout the course of the round. both men giving and taking plenty, and it looks as though he's had success in doing it once again. Yeleussinov began this fifth and final round on his back foot, but any boxing veteran will tell you it requires a serious amount of energy in the tank to sustain that type of boxing, particularly deep into a contest. And while he's employing this movement, he really wasn't letting his hands go, but look at Nuriev, keen to free his hands and work away at close range. The heads rubbing together vigorously at center ring, and Nuriev right back into the fray, lands an effective right hand that forces Yeleussinov backwards, and again, it is Yeleussinov, the AIBA #1 ranked boxer, the two-time AIBA Boxer of the Year, who is covering up or trying to hold on. Greater punch volume, greater work rate being demonstrated by Iagub Nuriev, who's proving impossible to deny. On the front foot incessantly throughout the course of this contest, and he continues to pour it on as Yeleussinov covers up once more. This a contest way beyond skill now. It's become attritional, it's increasingly physical. Both of these boxers feeling the pace. And this is going to be a question of who can dig the deepest and drag out the remaining reserves of energy that they have deep into this fifth round. The status, remember, is tied up for Judge A. Judges B and C have Yeleussinov leading by a 2-point margin, 39-37 for those two judges. So it's going to need a big finish from Nuriev. I'm not sure he's done enough to take it by the 2-point margin that he needs, but he might well have done enough to take the fifth and final round by a 10-9 margin across the board. Shots being landed flush by both boxers. Success for Yeleussinov. Nuriev comes right back, and what a contest. Immediately acknowledged by both men with a sporting embrace. The World Series boxing debutant Iagub Nuriev put up a spirited performance against Daniyar Yeleussinov, the golden boy of Kazakhstan boxing. But he was drawn into an absolute drag down, ugly brawl. He showed his fighting qualities as well. He's not just about skill, Yeleussinov. He showed plenty of bottle, plenty of fight, as you would expect from a fighter who makes it to that level of the AIBA boxing business. But remember, he's been taken there by a man making his World Series boxing debut. Brand new territory for Iagub Nuriev. Never been the 5-round distance before. He's done so tonight, and he has done so against the #1 ranked AIBA boxer in the world. Terrific action over the course of 5 3-minute rounds in the 69-kilogram welterweight division. Let's get the official verdict. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm sure when these fans realized that Daniyar Yeleussinov was added to the team, they didn't expect him to be in this hard a fight. Here's the announcement.
Judge 1, 47-48. Birinchi dönüşü, 47-48. Judge 2, 48-47. İkinci dönüşü, 48-47. Judge 3, 48-47. Üçüncü dönüşü, 48-47. Winning points by split decision. Winner is red corner, Daniyar Yeleussinov.
Well, Daniyar Yeleussinov has his hands raised in victory to extend his winning streak in Season 3 to 3 bouts unbeaten. But the story of this contest is the wonderful display by the debutant Iagub Nuriev. He took the 5th round across the board, and he has forced Daniyar Yeleussinov, the #1 ranked AIBA boxer in the world, into a contest that he won't forget anytime soon. All of his fighting qualities were put to the test. In the end, it was enough to tilt the balance in his favor.